Well, the first time in a long time we've got a weather window to get the boat around the Mull of Kintyre. So that's what's happening today. So I'm on my own, just left Tarbert. Got the engine on for the moment, but we'll be pulling the sails up, or I'll be pulling the sails up shortly. So yeah, it's been really unsettled weather this summer. So as I'm sure a lot of you know, there's been a series of lows coming through, and just getting a weather window to you only need a couple of days to get around the Mull. So it looks settled. It was really windy yesterday, like sort of 4, 6s and 7s last night. Anyway, it's dying off, and tonight is to be quiet, picking up again tomorrow. But the plan is to get down to Gigha, Campbelltown Way, or maybe even Sandbar. We'll see how we do. And then round the Mull tomorrow. The tide is at 12 o'clock, so lunchtime. So yeah. Anyway, we'll got all the lines and fenders away, and we've got a decent breeze. So we'll be pulling the sails up, heading down the Kilbrennan Sound. We're on a run at the moment, so it should be a broad reach down the Kilbrennan Sound. It should be really nice easy sail. Anyway, time to get the sails up. Doing about 6 knots. It's lovely. Couldn't be easier. And it looks as though it's brightening up. I was wondering whether I'd have to put my wets on. So Genoa's away. Well, not completely. It's got the sort of first reef in it, and it certainly looks a bit livelier in the Kilbrennan Sound. So I think it's time for wets and life jackets. And then, yeah, it looks like it's a beat sound, which is a bit of a pain. Anyway, there we are. That's what we've been given, and it looks quite lively as well. So might get wet. The sun hasn't really come out, which is a bit of a shame. It's still beating down the Kilbrennan Sound, which is also a bit of a shame, but it's okay. The wind has dropped a little bit, so we'll see if it stays like this. And then it is forecast to drop all the way through the day. So by the time I get down towards Campbelltown, it is kind of meant to be a flat calm, and I am half expecting to have to put the engine on. So we'll see what happens. But at the moment there's a bit more breeze than forecast, but it has dropped off. So maybe I'll shake out the reef in the Genoa and we'll go a little bit faster. Well, as everybody knows, if you've got a boat within sight, it's a race. So not only have I got a boat within sight, but it's right in front of me, and I'm catching them up. And so it's definitely a race. Well, it's definitely a race, because the other boat, not only are we really catching them up, but the other boat's helm has been out trimming the sails. Now, I don't know if you can see them. There, behind me somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, he's been out trimming the sails. So he thinks it's a race too, which is quite amusing. Well, I'm not one to normally brag, but looks as though this old girl is clear ahead of the boat that we were racing. So back to the plan. We're nearly at Gigha, so I need to shake out the main reef, and because I really don't like putting the sail away with the reef still on. It doesn't flake properly. So we'll set about doing that just now. 10 metres of water just now. Yeah, 10 metres of water. We're still quite a long way off the shore. So it's not amazing for going ashore because it's quite a rocky shore, but it's great for an overnight stop. So I don't know if you can see that. I put out 26.8 metres of chain. So that should be plenty. Should be plenty. And we got a very pretty boat. And there's a very pretty boat anchored next to us. Well, change of plan. So we're going to go around the Mull tonight. The forecast for tomorrow lunchtime is lively, force 5. So I think going around it springs as well, so it's going to be quite strong tides, running probably at about 6 knots I would think. So yeah, 6 knot tide against a going northwest, against a northwesterly wind, force 5 at the Mull, where there are standing waves anyway. Probably not on high on my list of things to do. So well, certainly not by myself anyway. I mean, the boat will manage it fine. So as it's perfectly still at the moment, there's a gentle force 2, and I can get to the Mull by midnight, then that will get me to Gigha at say 4 o'clock in the morning. I can drop a hook and just go to sleep. So that's the plan. Well, that sander just come into view, and if you've not seen our sander video, definitely want to go and check that out, especially if you're interested in buying an island, because I think it's still on the market. 2-point-something million pounds, £2.5 million. Gets you a really nice island with a whole bunch of deer. So I'm staying close inshore, and the reason for that is that it's 9:30, so the tide turns in 2.5 hours, so we've still got tide against. And although it's not strong, it's enough to just keep us below, below our target speed. Anyway, so here we are. You can see, if I zoom in, so we're following the 20-metre contour of fishing boat coming towards us, and yeah, 5.2 knots. The boat's doing 5.1 knots through the water, so no tide, which is great. Well, that's the navigation lights on, steaming light. It's 10:30 now. It's starting to get quite a bit gloomy. Anyway, there's a bit of a sunset going on the other side of Kintyre. I don't know if that's visible. Yeah, you can just make that out. So that's pretty cool. And there's quite a bit of swell. So got about a knot of tide with me already, which is surprising because we're an hour before the tide turns. But I think I'm in this sort of back eddy sander sound, which I think the tide turns a bit earlier than it does out in the North Channel. So it's good for us. And we'll just take the tide out. Got about an hour before it turns properly. So yeah, all seems to be going quite smoothly. Right, well, we're around the Mull. There was a bit of a dishwasher. And got the sails up now, so that's good. We've got a bit of a fetch up to Gigha, so it's about 14 miles to run now. But this camera really doesn't do very well in these sorts of conditions, so I think I'm going to turn it off, and we'll see you all in the morning at sunny Gigha, hopefully. Anyway, good night everyone. Well, good morning from sunny Gigha. So got in at about 4 o'clock this morning, and it's now, gosh, 10 to 11, so I had a decent sleep anyway. That's good. The sun is shining, which is great, and there's a really nice breeze from the west, so that'll take us up to Loch Sween. Gigha's pretty busy. There were lots of moorings, although to be honest I wasn't really in the mood to pick up a mooring, so I found a little space. There is an anchoring area at the south end of Ardmenish Bay, yeah, I just dropped the hook and crashed. Plan today is to set off at around about midday, which is when northbound tide starts, and head north. So here's the view. Here's the view out the back of the boat. In fact, it's absolutely glorious. Around Ardmenish Bay. You can't go too far to the south because it dries. You can see the shallow area. And there was another boat anchored in this bit at 4 this morning, but he's gone. And then there's the main anchorage with the pontoon. Lots and lots of moorings now. And then you can see in the very distance, or in the distance, is the ferry slip. So you want to stay away from the ferry slip because the ferry just comes charging in and out, and creates a lot of wash. So messes with your night's sleep. And then looking north up towards West Loch Tarbert. Absolutely lovely. Well, it looks like summer's arrived. So, yeah, well, at least in Gigha anyway. Apparently it's raining in Tarbert. It's about normal. So, just coming out of Ardmenish, and we're going to head up the east coast of Gigha, across the entrance to West Loch Tarbert, which is the big loch that goes all the way to Tarbert, that's home, and then up to Loch Sween, and then into Loch Sween, and we're picking Joe up later on this evening after work at Acknamara, where we've very kindly been lent a mooring. So yeah. Anyway, phone's going. Well, the weather gods are at it again. I was just having a really lovely reach up the coast of Gigha. Just got to the north end of Gigha, or just about behind me. Maybe you can see it, and had the most enormous header. So probably about 50-60 degrees. So instead of reaching up to Loch Sween, I've now got a beat, which is made all the more interesting because there's 1 or 2 rocks still to navigate past. So we're heading into kind of West Loch Tarbert at the moment, and then we'll have to tack out again. We'll just work our way up the shore to Loch Sween. It's about 13 miles roughly to Dana, and if I frame this shot properly, you might just see Gigha in the background, but I don't know. Anyway, there's those rounded hills of Gigha in the background. Well, the wind has gone quite light. We're down to 4 knots, and I think this is the forecast for the next few days actually, is light breezes and sunshine, which would be really nice. But anyway, trying to get to Loch Sween, and you'll notice that I've had to tack because the wind headed us again. We're getting the lift on the other tack, which is fine, but that's not the direction I want to go. So we'll tootle along for a bit until we get bored of it, and then I might have to stick the engine on. But we're only doing 2.5 knots, which is very pleasant as long as you don't want to get anywhere.
Disregard routine traffic 67, stand by, over.
Well, the wind has filled in and we're storming along, as Joe would say. So we're up to the McCormick Islands, just near Dana, the entrance to Loch Sween. So we'll navigate our way through the islands, and then we can bear off a little bit, and it should be a close reach, or a beam reach even, maybe down Loch Sween or up Loch Sween. So Loch Sween's over there. So these are the McCormicks here, and Loch Sween dead ahead. Well, that's us well up Loch Sween now, heading towards Acnamara and the summer mooring that we've been very kindly lent by some friends. So yeah, it's been a really good sail. Anyway, thanks very much to all our subscribers for staying in touch. I know we don't post our videos that regularly, but when we do, it's really nice that people appreciate them. So if you've got to the end and you haven't subscribed, then hit the subscribe button and join us on our episodes over the summer. We've actually recorded quite a few that I still need to edit. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's a pretty good time to call it an end for this episode, and please join us for the next one. Cheers for now.